All right, here we go, everyone. Big game in the Big Apple straight ahead. It is Game Plan with Kliff Kingsbury, Paul Calvisi, Ron Wolfley. Wolf, back in your playing days, right? You used to go to New York every year. Do you still wake up in a cold sweat to some degree thinking about having to block Lawrence Taylor, by the way?
Yeah, Paulie, there was no blocking Lawrence Taylor. That was more like getting destroyed by Lawrence Taylor.
The key was not to make him mad, right?
Right. Don't make him mad, Paul. Just let him be.
That's right. Well, look, we know 2020 has been a serious roller coaster, the Cardinals included. Had the 5-2 start. Now it's 3 losses in a row. The head coach, Kliff Kingsbury, joins us. And, Coach, you tell us, based on this practice week, how do you like the mindset, the energy? Where's the team at right now? Sort of put your finger on the pulse of the team at this point.
It's been good all year. You know, you start the season and you want to be playing meaningful games in December, and all our guys understand that that's what we have, and we have to take advantage of these opportunities we have coming up.
Kliff, do you feel like it's your job to coach energy?
I don't. I think we have leaders in that locker room that get it going. If I've got to be the cheerleader each and every day, you know, as you know, it's not going to be a very successful season. And so I try to bring the energy I can, but that's really led by the players each and every day.
Now let's review some pivotal moments from that Rams game, up and down. And, hey, for the second straight week, you got that start you were looking for, the 59-yard strike to Dan Arnold. I mean, that's even better than you drew it up, considering how wide open he was, I imagine.
Yeah, you don't get many of those. Dan ran a great route, and they kind of dropped the coverage there, and Kyler really did a nice job of progressing through his reads and gave him a nice, easy catch, and Dan did the rest.
Kliff, where has Dan Arnold developed the most this year?
Just his comfort level within our system. You know, we got him midway through the season last year, and so he was kind of learning on the fly, and we had a limited package for him, and he has the whole playbook in now, and he's starting to settle in and has really done some nice things. You see how well he's playing as a receiving tight end, but I've been impressed with how game he is to try and get better at the blocking aspect of it.
And you got the big start on both sides of the ball. You had that big stop on 4th and 6. Angela Blackson got in there. Dre Kirkpatrick was part of that. And you had the energy in the playmaking early, didn't you, from the defense?
We did. I thought they did a great job. Offensively, it was unfortunate. We had a bunch of 3-and-outs in a row, which continued to put the defense back on the field, which wore those guys out, and it was just unfortunate that that's kind of how the game went.
Coach, your defensive line room was just decimated by injuries at one point in the season. Talk a little bit about the health of that defensive line room right now.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've had some tough breaks in that room, but we're hoping to get some guys back on Sunday. Jordan Phillips, who's a difference maker for us. We're hoping he can play. Rashard Lawrence, Lecky's back, and we're hopeful he can be full speed. So I think it'll be the healthiest that it's been in quite some time.
You know, when you go back and you look at those 4 straight 3-and-outs and you looked at it on film, what did the film tell you about that sequence?
Yeah, I think you got to first off give credit to the Rams, and I thought they had a good plan and played really aggressively and didn't give us anything easy, that's for sure. And then the play calls weren't the best, and then probably execution-wise we could have done some things better. But that's the way the game goes. I was proud of how our guys fought offensively when it was going that bad to kind of get that momentum there. At the end of the first half, we weren't able to make that field goal, but I thought that showed a lot of character of those guys.
So, Coach, it was 14-7 at the half. What was your biggest concern when you went in as head coach of this team?
Yeah, I was concerned with how much the defense had to be on the field in that first half. You know, the time of possession was insane, and we can't have those guys out there playing that many snaps against, you know, one of the better teams in the league. And so that I was hoping we could sustain some drives offensively and give those guys a bit of a break in the second half.
And you know what? Down 17-7, that's exactly what you did. The 15-play, 75-yard drive. You had the 4th and 12 conversion to Keyshawn Johnson, then the 4-yard touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins. What'd you like most about that drive?
Just that they were able to come out and you know, battle after a rough first half, and obviously our confidence was down a bit after kind of being dominated offensively in that half. I thought they came right back and answered when we had to and really made a game of it.
Coach, how did the defense, in your opinion, play overall? I know you've already talked a lot about how often they were out there on the field, but how did they play? How did they hold up physically and mentally?
I thought they did a nice job for the most part. There's some plays we'd like to have back, obviously. I thought there's some big 3rd and longs that the Rams executed that we would have liked to get off the field and would have helped us limit some of those plays. But they started fast, and they gave us the ball back multiple times to really extend our lead, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that.
Coach Kingsbury sets his sights on the red-hot New York Giants when we return to Cardinals Game Plan. Presented by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. By Nissan. For great offers, shop nissanusa.com. By Desert Financial Credit Union, sharing success with you. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan and Coach Kingsbury's virtual film room, powered by Microsoft Surface.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's go into the film room with a Coyote Clicker, and Coach Kingsbury is going to take us through the 59-yard touchdown, the longest catch of Dan Arnold's career. And it wasn't hard to see big 6'6" Dan Arnold. He was all by himself. What happened there to create confusion on the part of the Rams D, Coach?
It's a play where we have some pre-snap motion in play. We send Andy on kind of a wraparound to try and draw some eyes defensively and distract him, and then have a crossing route with Dan coming underneath two guys. And they carried one of the crossers and dropped Dan, and so it left him wide open.
Coach, the offensive line, the pocket on that play was fantastic. How did the offensive line play overall, in your opinion?
I thought they battled. As you know, that's a great defensive line, one of the best players in football there, and Aaron Donald. There's some plays we'd like to have back, but once we went 2 minutes, it was tough sledding because obviously we were dropping back almost every play and in 10 personnel and didn't have the chips or the edges with the running backs. And so we put them in tough positions. I put them in tough positions throughout the day, but I thought they really played hard and battled back to get us within 24-21 there in the fourth quarter. We just weren't able to close it out.
There's been a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks this week with your starting quarterback, Kyler Murray. Where is he with his confidence? In the stretch he's been in, would you call it a slump? Is it an adjustment by the defense? Where is he, and how do you think he comes out of this?
Once again, it's just part of being the starting quarterback in the NFL. You're not always going to have 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. These defenses are really good, and week in, week out, it's going to be a challenge. But I think the biggest progression I've seen is these games last year where it's not going as smoothly as we'd like. I mean, he continues to compete his tail off, keep his composure, and give us a chance to win those games in the end, where last year we were getting blown out. And so he's really made big strides in that. And his confidence is always high. He knows how good of a player he is and what he can do in this league.
He talks about how the defense won't let him run the ball. Has that been a reality and adjustment made by defenses lately?
They're definitely aware of where he's at, just like defenses are of Lamar and guys who have that ability. And so, as a coaching staff and a play caller, I got to do a good job of finding ways to be creative and still allow him to use his legs, but protect him at the same time.
Coach, with Larry coming back right now, tell us a little bit about his availability, and are you seeing yourself going with a little bit more 10 personnel because he's coming back?
As y'all know, having Fitz back is going to be huge. His presence, his leadership, all those things are something you can't really replace. And so we're going to find ways to get him back involved. And when he's playing good and catching the ball, good things tend to happen for this team.
You talk about a team that has made a turnaround. How about the New York Giants? Started 0-5. Right now they're leading the division. They just went into Seattle, handed the Seahawks their first home loss. What jumps off the film when it comes to the Giants, Coach?
I would say just what you mentioned, the progression from the start of the season until now. And that's a credit to their coaching staff and Coach Judge. They're really playing at a high level in all three phases. Defensively, the job they did on the Seahawks and that dynamic offense was phenomenal. And to be able to go in there with their backup quarterback and win that game the way they did, you really got to tip your hat to those guys.
Do you expect the Giants to do something similar as to what you've seen over the last 3 weeks, Kliff, or do you think they might bring more pressure?
I'm sure they'll have a unique plan. That's kind of a trademark of a Bill Belichick protege, if you will. And he does do his own thing, Coach Graham. You can tell it's not exactly what the Patriots are doing. He's mixed it in and really maximized his personnel. And that to me is a sign of a great coach.
Yeah, they're tied for third in the NFL with 20 takeaways. How about the fact that their quarterback position has been a question mark with the injury of Daniel Jones? How does that impact the Cardinals' preparation, if at all, this week?
Daniel Jones is a tremendous athlete, and you watch some of the runs and some of the highlights where he's taking the ball 60, 70 yards. I mean, he can really go, and so if he's in there, that quarterback run game is definitely in play. And Colt's a good athlete as well. I thought Colt handled himself tremendously well in his start against Seattle, and so we're gonna have our hands full with whichever guy starts.
After the break, hard-hitting safety Chris Banjo wired for sound when Cardinals Game Plan returns. Welcome back to Cardinals Game Plan. Safety Chris Banjo has been an unsung, valuable part of an improved defense in 2020. He was mic'd up last Sunday against the Rams. Wired, brought to you by your Arizona Ford dealers.
The Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams meeting at State Farm Stadium in what many feel is a must-win game for the Cardinals if they want to make the playoffs.
Hey, your boy the feds. Your boy the feds. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jack boys on 3. 1, 2, 3. Jack boys. Damn, Arnold. Ooh. How you get me like that? Turkey. So how we feeling there? I forgot all these makeup. I'll have a better answer for you after this first drive. But just know it's gonna be a good one. Hey, let's start third. Start third. Y'all understand how big it is we get the rock down here? Let's get the rock, man. Hey, it's going right, Pecco. It's going right, Pecco.
Goff takes the snap. It's play action. Goff setting up, looking deep, throwing left sideline, incomplete.
Yes, sir. Good eyes, boy. Let's go, G. Come on.
Snap to Goff, straight drop back, has time, pumps, now in trouble. Rolls to his left, now fires left, incomplete. The Cardinals turn it over defensively here on downs.
Let's go! Let's go! Hey, that's how you nut up.
Goff under center takes the snap, gives to Akers up the middle. Drilled by Chris Banjo.
Come on, bro! Come on!
Oh, I love that. Chris Banjo coming down out of the secondary to make that stick, man. That is big time.
I thought I was yelling because that didn't hurt. Nah, I'm good. That went numb for a little bit.
Cardinals with one down lineman over the ball. Back to throw goes Goff in the pocket, gets hit and sacked at the 25-yard line. Dennis Gardeck.
Let's go! Hey, Murph, me and you.
Shotgun snap to Jared Goff, drops back to throw, climbs the pocket, now throws far aside into coverage, but it's caught for a first down.
Oh my God. Bro, I should have picked that. Bro, that's a flag. That's a flag. He's going to 0 every time. So I know it's a holiday season. That don't mean you gotta be in the giving spirit right now. Give me something.
Goff takes the snap, it's a pass play, and a quick throw to the near side, and a sliding catch is made for a first down, Higbee.
Come on.
Short throw to the left is caught by Cooper Kupp at the 30-yard line and pasted by Banjo. Now in motion right to left, Goff takes, handoff Akers off the left side, down to the 5, and into the end zone for the touchdown.
Good luck today, brother. What's good? What's that? Everything today. Same to you, boy. Oh.
Rams are going right to the line here on 4th and goal at the 1.
This is big. Don't jump.
Goff takes the snap, give to Akers running left, tripped up in the backfield, and down he goes. The Cardinals get off the field on 4th down.
Let's go. Hey, good play.
Somebody had to make a play. It's the Cardinal defense that steps up again.
Hey, let's go. Come on. Hey, Peel!
Goff takes, handoff Henderson up the middle, first down and more, 35-30, and he's going to score. You just wonder, with a depleted defense, the last few games, hanging around, hanging on by a thread, if that thread just snapped here today. This game's over. The Rams win 38-28. Man, that hurt right there.
Hey, you heard me call you ugly? You heard me call you ugly? I didn't talk about
Yes,
it.
sir.
Good game,
Appreciate it, bro.
Body good?
Yeah, you did hit
Yeah.
The New York Giants are on the horizon as the Cardinals look to stay in the playoff hunt. We put our eye on the opponent when Game Plan returns. Now, Paul Calvisi and Ron Wolfley put their eye on the opponent, presented by Phillips Law Group, proud partner of the Cardinals.
All right, it's almost an obligatory question at this point. How crazy is 2020, Ron Wolfley? No team has ever started 1-7 and made the playoffs, and the Giants are bidding to be that team. And they just went into Seattle and handed the Seahawks and Russell Wilson their first loss of the year. I'm going to ask you how they did it, but I got to tell you, when you mentioned that their defensive coordinator is part of that Belichick tree, I mean, that has been a real challenge for the Cardinals this year.
Yeah, Paulie, it's a big deal. I mean, Patrick Graham is going to be a head coach at some point in time in this league, and he's a defensive coordinator for the Giants right now. 7 years under Bill Belichick, and he's coached with Matt Patricia as well, and Brian Flores, another Bill Belichick disciple down in Miami. So, you know what? They've got a lot of experience against Kyler Murray. And do you think they're going to talk to each other about how to actually game plan against Kyler Murray? You better believe it, Paul.
All the reports are Russell Wilson looked hesitant. He got sacked 5 times. He got hit 10 times. Do you expect a similar game plan?
Yeah, I really do. You know, what a benefit, I think, for Patrick Graham to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to play Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. And they did one thing against Russell Wilson where they lined 6 guys up on the line. Everybody does that in the league. They rushed 6, and then 2 of them, after taking 2 steps, dropped out and looked at Russell Wilson as if they were spies. They drew the block of the running back, they drew the block of the guard, and then they bailed out in rush 4. They got pressure on Russell Wilson, and it seemed to confuse him. Will they do that to Kyler Murray? I'm banking on it.
So the first 9 games, the Cardinals averaged better than 400 yards a game in total offense. This last game, 232. What can the Cardinals do to respond to these defensive game plans, you think?
Boy, Paulie, you know what? Honestly, I think they got to run the ball. I think they have to run the ball and do it with running backs in between the tackles. I've been talking about it all week long and really all month long, I would say. They got to do a better job of that. And then use play action, Paul, to throw the ball down the field. That's where you get a lot of chunk throws.
I tell you what, for everything that's been going on lately, if the Cardinals win at the New York Giants, they're back in the wild card because Minnesota and Tampa are playing each other.
Coach K with his keys to victory in the Big Apple when Game Plan returns. Cardinals Game Plan has been presented by Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness. By Nissan. For great offers, shop nissanusa.com. By Desert Financial Credit Union, sharing success with you. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, wrapping up this edition of Game Plan with the head coach Kliff Kingsbury. Seahawks head coach Pete Carroll said after the Hawks lost at home to the Giants, he said, I'm really surprised that we look that way against their defensive game plan. Is there an easy way to sum up what the Giants did defensively to stymie Russell Wilson and the Seahawks?
They played really hard. They kept everything in front, didn't give up any of the big plays that the Seahawks have been making with Metcalf and Russ and those guys. And so I thought they really limited those big plays and made them try to earn everything. And they turned them over a couple times, which were huge plays in the game.
Coach, did they really have 2 spies on Russell Wilson from time to time? Because it kind of looked like they did.
They definitely had a plan to make sure that he wasn't going to do the runaround stuff that he's known for. They had guys that as soon as he started that mode went after him, which was very effective, obviously.
All right, so with your team, how much of it is your team and how much of it is the opposition and us talking about the opponent? I mean, how much of this just comes down to the Cardinals playing Cardinals football like they did in that 5-2 start?
Yeah, there's a lot of both. We need to play better and execute better and coach better and all those things. But you got to give these teams credit. These are really good NFL teams, and these games have been competitive. We just have to be better in crucial situations and crucial moments, and I feel like our guys will be.
Coach, you're going to beat the Giants. What do you got to do?
We have to protect the football. You mentioned it earlier, but I think they're 3rd in the league in takeaways. They've really turned teams over. And then defensively, we got to take away the run. They had a good plan against Seattle, ran the ball really well, and really took the pressure off Colt when it came to the throwing game.
Yeah, they had 190 rushing yards, no doubt. Well, you're 2-0 in that stadium, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you,
Coach.
Thank you for watching Cardinals Game Plan.